Are you doing rent to rent or trying to start out in rent to rent but are stuck? Watch this video because I may be able to help you with that. Hello and welcome to the Property Unleashed YouTube channel. My name is Mark Fitzgerald and today I want to help people who are stuck at looking to do rent to rent or maybe even just to get started in rent to rent. There's some fundamental things that I believe that if you start to do and you start to implement in your rent to rent business or on your rent to rent journey, that you will put yourself a cut above the rest and you will all of a sudden start to see massive improvements in what you're trying to achieve. So let's start with number one. What I always recommend everybody does from the word go is works harder on themselves than their business or their job, to make sure that in your business or your job, you're the best you can be. So make sure, by watching these videos, you're putting yourself onto a good track. I'm sure that you're probably watching other people's as well. So you're getting that whole sort of sphere of knowledge, that whole sort of environment to put yourself into. You'll be reading books, you'll be listening to podcasts. We've got the Property Unleashed podcast as well, which you can enjoy, which will help you with tips and tricks as well. But get the knowledge there, read the books, listen to the podcasts, watch the videos, and then do some training if you need to. If you really need that little leg up to help you do so, I have the Rent to Rent Business Builder in 90 Days training program where I give you hand-holding, full support in setting up, building, growing, and making sure that you have a successful rent to rent business. But look at things like that. Make sure you find the right people that you want to train you and you want to work with. But work on yourself harder than you do your business or your job that you're in. If you wanted to set up a property business in whatever sector it is, make sure you know what you're doing. Property can be a massive, it can be brilliant. It can be absolutely brilliant. It can really show you and give you a new life and give you your own business, give you your own property business. But if done poorly, can cost you a lot of money, can go south very quickly. But by knowing what you're doing and following the paths of people in front of you, you'll put yourself on the right track and the road to success, which is what we want for everybody. I don't want to see people, struggling with deals that aren't deals or doing property refurbs and then everything goes wrong. You see that all far too much and all far too often. And that's normally people that have gone out there that have got a little bit of knowledge, maybe got a little bit from here, there and everywhere, but can't put the full package together. And you know that, and I know that. As soon as I speak to people and I just ask them some fundamental questions, sometimes it can all go out the window and they just don't know the answers because you don't know what you don't know. And I was massive with that. I was in my own way when I started out. I didn't want to pay for any education. I would get it all from books and videos, and I did. Until I did pay for education, and I tell you what, the whole world opened up to me. These videos, these podcasts are great, but there's only so much we can put out there. There's only so much we can help you with through this type of thing. Sometimes you just need that blueprint to follow step by step all the way to get yourself where you need to get to. So work on yourself harder than you do anything else. Number two, as I always say to my students, it's all about being consistent and persistent in your approach. Whatever you're doing, whatever property strategy you're doing, and however you want to build a business, in any form, shape, or manner, it is about being consistent and persistent in the right actions to equal results. Okay? It's like when I have my team and I have my students and they're doing their marketing, and marketing letters get a bad rep. Everybody says they're too slow and they don't work and they cost you money, and they're all true. They are slow. They do cost you money, but they get you results. They will get you massive results. And you think about it, you get a deal for 5 years that's potentially earning you 500, 600, 700 pound profit per month. And it's cost you maybe on the whole up to about 700 quid over a few months to send the letters out, but you've made that back on one deal in 1 month. It's a bit of a no-brainer really, isn't it? It is very cost effective once you start getting the deals, but it can seem a little expensive at the beginning. But anyway, just take that as a scenario. You need to be consistent and persistent. You can't just send one batch of letters, not have any responses and expect it to work. You have to keep sending the letters. You have to keep being in the landlord's eyesight and eye line. I remember it took me 4 months of sending letters, of networking, of getting out there into groups, social media groups as well. There's plenty of different ways that you can find landlords, online portals and everything like that as well. But it's about being consistent and persistent in your approach, doing it in the right manner, doing the right things, and they will equal results. You only fail when you stop or you give up. So as long as you keep going, you will get deals. It'll happen. Now, you might get a deal in a week, you might get a deal in a month, you might get a deal in 6 months, but you will get a deal as long as you stay in the game. As I say, it took me 4 months. I have students that have had deals within 4 weeks. I've had students that have had deals within a few months. And I've had one student who's got 6 deals in 6 months. So, it's different areas, it's different approaches, it's different consistency and persistency. But by knowing what you're doing, which is what we said at the beginning, work harder on yourself, being consistent and persistent in the right approach will get you the end results to move you forward. Number 3, and it follows on nicely from number 2, particularly with marketing. It's all about making sure that you set yourself up as a business. And when I say set yourself up as a business, I mean a business needs a marketing budget. We say you can start rent to rent with little money. I wouldn't say no money. You do need something. You might be able to get a deal. I have done a deal which didn't really cost me anything, but I was already set up. I already had the dressing to be able to dress the properties with. I already had the contracts. You know what I mean? So you do need a little bit of money to get yourself going, but money spent in the right areas will really, really help you. But you do need a bit of a marketing budget. So whether you're doing online marketing, whether you're doing marketing letters or networking, it's still going to cost you something, whether it's time, whether it's fuel, whether it's bus fares, taxis, anything like that, stamps, anything. It will cost you a bit of money. So make sure you set that budget out and make sure you plan your marketing campaign. So I'm going to do 3 networks this month. I'm going to go to 3 network meetings with landlords potentially there. I'm going to send out 600 marketing letters. I'm just throwing numbers out here, by the way. I'm going to send out 600 marketing letters each month to the different landlords. If you've only got a small marketing list, then you may be only doing 100. But whatever it is that suits you and suits your area, but you set it out before you get there. So in January, I'm going to do this. In February, I'm going to do this. In March, I'm going to do this. And I would say set out the year. Set out the year, plan to do it, schedule it in. And most things you can automate now, so you can make them happen for you in the background. Set them up to just do what they need to do in the background for you. So you don't relatively need to put a lot of input in, apart from if the phone rings, apart from if the emails come through or the messages, or however you're going to receive any contact that you're looking to receive. Make sure you plan this out in advance so that it happens, and that will keep you consistent and persistent. And again, by knowing what you're doing, by putting out the right message, you will start to see leads fly in. And normally, when you start to get a few more, and it's a whole snowball effect that will get working for you, will get you moving forward, and it will drive you on, and it can be brilliant. Number 4, once you start getting deals and you're building up your portfolio, make sure you lock in those utility prices at good rates as soon as possible. As we know at the moment, utility companies are all over the place, and so are the prices. They're certainly not going down, they're going up. So make sure that you lock in utility prices with utility companies of your choice. I'm not going to recommend any utility companies to anybody. Why? Because they drive me mad. I find them all very, very hard work to deal with. So by having a company or an operation do that for you, you can put yourself into a better position. But you still need to make sure that you track your meters and that you track what is being paid out. Having said that, there's also a lot of things you can do. You can put a hive, you can put a thermostat in on boilers so that they're not on 24/7. You can put LED lights in. You can also put in light bulbs that have sensors in that will turn off after 5 minutes in case the lights are left on in hallways and things. And also, of course, you can put the sensors in there as well so that they're motion censored. So if they go in the kitchen and move around and they're doing things, the lights stay on the full time. Same in the hallways. Things like that will save you a fortune in the long run. And it might cost you a couple of £100 to sort out at the very beginning, but I recommend it's money well spent. You will save thousands by spending a couple of £100 at the beginning. So make sure that if you're getting properties and you're not getting the returns you want because your utility bills are more expensive than you first thought, make sure you've got these in place. If you've already got these in place, make sure then that you're looking for the provider who can give you the best term. Obviously, the longer the term is, if you've got a 5-year contract and you're finding that you're getting tenants in there and it's a really good deal, lock it in for a reasonable amount of time. I wouldn't lock it in for 5 years. I don't think you can anyway, but lock it in for as long as you can. Get a decent energy provider, get a decent energy price, and make sure you lock that in, and you'll save yourself thousands in the long run. Number 5, if you're just starting out, and you're struggling to find momentum, to find what you're doing, and you're just a bit lost and stuck, and as I said before, work harder on yourself, but you're still finding that you've got the knowledge, you've had the training, you're out there, you just don't know if a deal's a good deal or a bad. Get into a community, a community that can help and support you. I have the Property Unleashed Facebook group, the free Facebook group that anybody can join and can ask questions in. And if they do, I will try and help and support you as much as possible as I can in that group. But also so will the other boys and girls there who've got experience. Some of those are even my students that are in the members group, but they also go into the free group as well and help everybody else out, because what goes around comes around, and it's nice to be able to help other people that are struggling. So if you've got a worry, if you're just finding that you're sort of trying to sludge through the mud and it's just not working for you, and how do people go out there and get deals, and I'm doing exactly the same thing. Get in the groups, ask questions, put things out there, and people may be able to point you in the right direction. Never be afraid to ask for help. I think in this day and age now, we all understand that there are times where we're going to need assistance. There are times where we're going to need help. And just ask help. Just ask for help. And people will oblige. They will help you. Now, a caveat to that is just take some things with a pinch of salt. Don't necessarily take everybody's opinion as gospel. Have your own common sense, have your own approach to things. Maybe ask in a few different groups as well. Join different groups, ask the questions and see the sort of responses you get. If everybody's sort of singing on the same hymn sheet and telling you the same thing, that's probably the correct answer. But if you're getting lots of mixed reviews, then just look for somebody that you know, like, and trust, and you think is doing a good job, and basically maybe is a few steps ahead of you. Ask them the question and see what they come back with. And if they've already achieved the level that you're looking to achieve, then 9 times out of 10, the response that you get, because you're probably trying to move in the same direction as them, will help you to move forward and will be the answer that you need. Okay? So those are 5 things that if you're stuck trying to get deals, trying to build your rent-to-rent business, trying to grow it, they're just 5 little things there just to help you out, give you a bit of food for thought and move you forward. What I would like to say is, if you check the show notes, we have some free resources. I also have the free resources available. If you reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram, there's a little link on my bio. If you click that, you'll be able to access the 10 steps to building a successful rent-to-rent business, the deal analyzing spreadsheet, which can help you stack your deals, and also a viewings guide, which tells you exactly what to look for, what to look out for, and also what to say when talking to landlords. All completely free. If they're useless to you, they haven't cost you anything, have they? But they might just help you. They might just be able to point you in the right direction. I used to do the same thing. When I started out, I used to download whatever I could from everybody else because it helped me learn, it helped me grow, and now I like to do the same. What goes around comes around. So there you go, and maybe you will one day as well. But anyway, I hope this has helped you today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.